Today's foundation road test is a Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation review. If you haven't seen my comprehensive look at what I purchased from the brand new Too Faced Peaches and Cream collection, I have that link to go check that out. I did give a first impression on the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation, and I also looked at the powders and whatever else I bought, and you guys gave me lots of great feedback from that. I don't like doing just first impressions of foundations. I like to give them a good solid review wear test. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. If you're not familiar with my foundation road test, I look at them over a period of several days to see how they wear with different primers, different powders applied in different ways, just to see how they work best for me. I have oily combination skin. I am 42 years old, so I like to look at them from that perspective and report back to you. Everybody's different, but I like to tell you how they work for me. In this particular foundation road test, I'm going to be talking about Peach Perfect in relation to some other foundations that I wear regularly and or like. So I'm going to include my foundation road test playlist at the end of this video, and I'll also include it in the description bar below, just in case you've forgotten how I feel about those foundations or if you've never seen them before. So first things first, this retails for $36, but there's one thing that is interesting about this foundation, and it's not on the website, and I don't know why. I looked last night on both toofaced.com and sephora.com, and they don't list the ounces. Why is that? There are 1.6 ounces of product in this bottle. 1.6 ounces. So if you break that down to the normal foundation size, which is 1 ounce, you're only paying $22.50 per ounce. This is a good deal. So if you're interested in trying this out, it's not an expensive product. If you think about cost per ounce, $22.50 for the normal size of foundation. I don't know why they're not advertising that. I feel like a lot more people would be trying that out if they knew how much you actually get in this bottle. There are 12 shades of this foundation. I'm in shade light beige. I also noticed that on the websites, the color descriptions are way off. I do feel like it is darker than what it says on the website. I am in light beige. The description of light beige on both websites is light with neutral undertones, but if you look at warm nude on Too Faced, it says very light with neutral undertones. And on Sephora, warm nude says light with golden undertones. So I'm not sure what's going on there. The other thing too is that natural beige says light medium with neutral undertones. I am consistently light medium in pretty much every foundation that I try, and this is definitely not too light for me, and I'm very rarely light in any foundation. So I would definitely, if you can get your hands on a sample or get in front of it to try it before you order, do that, or see swatches. I definitely would not have picked light with neutral undertones. I would have ended up with light medium with neutral undertones, and that shade would have been a hair too dark for me. So just a little FYI on the colors. I'm gonna read through the claims for you. Peach Perfect Foundation is supposed to give you a medium coverage matte finish, and it's supposed to be good for all skin types. It's a 14-hour wear, comfortable matte foundation for a flawless looking complexion. It's supposed to be transfer resistant, oil controlling, and create a smooth canvas for comfortable wear using exclusive comfort matte I can't talk today. Using exclusive comfort matte technology that's never cakey or mask-like. It smooths the look and feel of skin. It lasts up to 14 hours. It's oil-free. It smells like peaches and sweet fig cream. What Too Faced says about the scent and about it being infused with the peaches and the sweet fig cream is that these ingredients are known for hydrating and antioxidant-rich benefits. They're supposed to help keep skin moisturized, comfortable, and beautifully matte. So that's why those ingredients and the scent are in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and state, because I know a lot of you that are watching are wanting to know about having the scent all over your face all day long. And I did state this in my initial first impression review when I had just worn it for a day of the whole collection. I do not smell it as the day goes on. I smell it when I apply it. It's a nice scent. It doesn't kill me or overpower me. It's there, and I do like it. It's a pleasant scent, but I don't have a problem with it. I do have sensitive skin, so scent and fragrance in products is always a concern for me, and this has not bothered my skin whatsoever. I usually save stuff like that for the end of my videos in the summary, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say that because I know a lot of you are concerned about that. And this line is only available on TooFaced.com's website and at Sephora. It is a Sephora exclusive. You can get it online or in retail stores. So I'm just gonna get into my demo and talk through it a little bit. And then once the demo's over, it's gonna go into me talking about it during the demo. So there's just going to be kind of a segue from my talking and the demo right into my thoughts, and we'll just move on from there, and then it'll go into the check-ins. I'm just going to start off by saying that I really like the packaging. I think it's pretty and kind of springy and fresh and fun, yet sleek at the same time. I love the tube with the pump. It's very similar to, I think the first foundation that I ever had with a pump attached to a tube was the Urban Decay One and Done. It Cosmetics CC cream is the same way. It's just so easy to use. It's nice and light and travel friendly, and you don't have to worry about it breaking. I always appreciate a pump on any kind of bottle. I don't care if it's a tube or a plastic bottle or a glass bottle. It's just so convenient to have a pump, and I think many of you feel the same way I do. You can see on the back of my hand that it is a liquidy consistency, but it's not so thin that it's getting away from me. It's a lot thinner than I expected from a matte foundation. A lot of times matte foundations are pretty thick, so I was surprised about the consistency. I'm just taking it on my damp beauty blender in sections on my face and blending it out. I always start with this application because a lot of times with matte foundations, they set really quickly and you don't have time to work with them. So applying them in sections is the way to go. With this foundation though, I found I could dot it all over my face and then blend it out, and I had plenty of time to work with it with no problem. It was very different from most matte foundations that I've ever worked with. I applied it with a brush during the week and it blended out just as quickly as it did with the beauty blender, and it didn't leave streaks. It was just really easy to work with. I just found the beauty blender to be quicker than other methods. I could build it from medium to full coverage very easily, even with a beauty blender. So it was nice to be able to have medium or full coverage. I could do that with a brush too. It just wasn't quite as quick. I actually think it covered well with just one layer. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more in a couple of areas and just see what happens. But I don't think I'm gonna need a whole lot of concealer here on these sunspots, and I'm not disturbed by the sunspots on my nose. So I'll just see what happens if I go in with a tad bit more. I still have a little bit on my hand, not a ton, and that was just a couple of pumps. So I'm just gonna pump out a teeny tiny bit more that was not even close to an eighth of a pump maybe. So I'll just dip that in and go in right here. And on my nose. I think this is good, solid, medium to full coverage. I might be able to build it up a little bit more if I sat here and really tried, but I think for an everyday basis, this is medium to full coverage. It looks good. It doesn't look cakey at all. And I do see my sunspots, but they're kind of blurred, so I'm okay with that. So here's the pore situation. I will put some concealer on my nose, and I'll put some concealer on these little spots down here, which is fine. But again, I think this is solid, medium to full coverage. I could probably build it up a little bit more if I wanted to, but I really don't think that for a day-to-day wear that's what I want to do. The pores, I think, look really good. If you look at my forehead and you look, you know, here and here, and that's usually where I'm concerned, where most people are concerned. I think they look good. They're not too blurred, but they're not emphasized either. And a lot of times when I set with setting powder, that is remedied and they look a little more blurred. And I am going to use the new Peaches and Cream collection setting powder, so we'll see how that goes. And that is in the companion video to this if you want to see the review on that setting powder, and I'll have that linked in the corner. So just to remind you what this foundation looked like on that day when I was done, I'm inserting these clips here from my initial video because maybe some of you haven't seen that initial video and you don't know what it looks like once my makeup is all done. But I did have it on in that initial first impression video so you can see it. And I'm actually also going to show you a check-in at the end of the day so you can see how it wore throughout the day on the day that I filmed that video after this application.
It's been 5.5 hours that I've had this on. I just stared at myself in the mirror for like 3 minutes. I hate doing that. To try and tell the difference in the sides, I really can't. So I'm gonna have to look at this and see if I see something that I am just not seeing in the mirror. I just don't see a difference. I haven't touched up, not one time. I don't feel overly shiny or greasy. It looks good. It's not settling anywhere oddly, and my pores aren't doing anything strange either. So I'm just gonna keep going.
It has been exactly 11 hours. I have been rained on and I am very sinusy, so I'm really kind of tired. But I'll get a little bit closer. I think it's holding up really good for one touch up today. I blotted and I did touch up with translucent powder after that, about an hour after that, and that's been it. It looks nice still on the skin. It has not worn away anywhere. I mean, I don't have any lip products still on, but my face products are still on. I don't feel like it's settling anywhere. I mean, you can see my forehead lines because that's just my face, but when I lift them up, it's not settling in there, and that's it. It's still there, so just ignore that. What else? Oh, don't look at my under eyes. That is from a little experiment I did earlier, and it didn't go over well. So that is it for today. I will see you guys when I see you next. I don't know if I'm doing another check-in or if the next time I see you will be the summary. I never do check-ins on every single day of my foundation road test because these videos would be an hour long. On this one, I did try it out for a good 5 to 6 days, and I probably could have stopped after 2. I really like the way this feels on my skin. It's really nice and light. It is weightless, especially for a matte long wearing foundation. It's also very quick and easy to apply for a matte long wearing foundation, and you have time to work with it, which is something I feel is very different for foundations like this. It's not perfect, but it's not horrible with flash photography. You can see in the non-flash what it looks like. It's dim because it's not exactly bright in the room, but in the flash photography, obviously it's going to be brighter overall because you're using a flash, but my face is slightly lighter than my neck, but it's not ghostly white either. I don't think it transfers easily either. I haven't met a foundation that really lives up to that claim in a long time. Not one that's been released recently anyway. I blew my nose with it on the other day, and I really didn't see a lot on the tissue, which is really odd. So I was impressed by that. I mean, you know, there was a little bit on there, and even when I blotted with the tissue the other day, I just decided to use that instead of blotting papers. There was next to nothing on the tissue. I mean, hardly anything. I had to really look closely, and that just rarely happens, especially in the heat and humidity that we have down here. And I usually have some transfer. It's just what happens here. But with this one, I really didn't. So I recently did a video raving about the new almost said barefoot, not barefoot, Bare Minerals BarePro. What is wrong with me today? In that video, I said that it was a really nice look. It wasn't a no makeup natural look. It was a more put together look, but without being cakey and without being heavy, which is very much what this foundation claims too. So I would say that they give a very similar look, a nice, natural, yet put together look, but it looks really good. It does not look heavy. It looks really natural and really beautiful, really seamless on the skin. Can I say really anymore? I felt like the BarePro was great for my skin, my oily combination skin. I didn't think that drier skin types would benefit from it. I kind of felt like if I had any dry patches going on, maybe in the dead of winter, there might be an issue. I feel like you could get away with this with any skin type. If you've tried this and you have dry skin, please report back. It's so lightweight and liquidy. I was just really impressed with how quickly and easily it applied and how good it looked on my skin no matter what primer I used. I mean, I used a variety of different primers. As usual, my favorite primer to use is my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. My Guerlain Meteorites worked with it. Drugstore primers worked with it. It just seemed like everything worked with it. And no primer worked with it. I never don't wear primer these days, I feel like. I just feel like I need it to keep anything on my T-zone, even my long-wearing matte foundations. I could wear this with no primer and set it with powder, and I was good to go. Any powder worked with it. It was just easy. That was the other thing that I thought was really similar to the BarePro in that it's maintenance-free all day long. I'm talking one minor touch-up all day, and I'm good to go. And I appreciate that. Tried it with multiple primers, tried it with multiple powders, and I like that it doesn't really mattify me too much. It still makes my skin look really good. I feel like some people get too matte with Estee Lauder Double Wear, and that is still one of my favorite foundations. I apply it in a certain way. I have that video in my foundation road test playlist. It's linked at the end. This one, it's easier. It's easier to apply. Shiseido Synchro Skin is another foundation that I really like. It's got medium buildable coverage. The finish is extremely skin-like. I'm talking, you have foundations that are your skin but better, which is how I would describe Estee Lauder Double Wear, light. And then you have skin-like finish, but without being tinted moisturizer territory. That's what Synchro Skin is like. And it lasts probably about 10 hours and it wears away gracefully. This lasts longer than that, but it's not that skin-like finish. It's a more put together finish, but yet still looks amazingly good. I'm not going to be talking about the finishing and setting powders in this particular video because A, it's going to make the video too long. B, I haven't been able to try them out enough with other foundations other than the Peach Perfect foundation to gauge how they would work with other things, because maybe not everybody's going to buy this foundation, or maybe they want to wear them with other things and they want to know how they're going to work with other things. And I just need to be able to speak to that, to be able to give you an honest perspective. So I'm going to speak to that at the end of the month in my September favorites. You have my word on that, whether they're favorites or not. I'm just going to give you guys an update. So again, be sure you have hit that notification bell so that you are notified when my videos load, and I'll fill you guys in on that. So I feel like this under promises and over delivers, which is a rare thing. I mean, how many foundations do we have these days that swear they're going to give you 18, 24-hour wear and they don't? How many foundations do we have out here that cost 50-something dollars for 1 ounce or less of product? And we have one that is over an ounce that's $36. You're paying $22.50 for 1 ounce of this. We have a product that says it's 14-hour wear. It's actually given me 14 hours or longer of wear. It is a comfort matte finish. It's a soft matte finish. I don't feel like I'm wearing a mask. I feel like it looks great. They're not using crappy products. It actually does control my oil. I very rarely have to touch up. This is a good product. I would venture to say, I know it's early, it's only September. This is one of my favorite foundations of the entire year. And I thought it was going to be a gimmick when I got it. I have said for, it might be close to a month now, that I was not going to try the YSL All Hours foundation because it had alcohol as the third ingredient. And I've been saying that in my replies to you guys when you would ask me to try it. And I almost felt bad because I felt like every YouTuber out there was trying it except for me. When you have a company that can release a product that actually delivers on what it says, I don't care what the packaging looks like, if you like it or don't like it, I think this is a great foundation. At least it is for me. So it would be worth trying. So I am surprisingly impressed by this product. So again, if you haven't seen my Peaches and Cream collection review that I have done, go check that out. And I will be doing a get ready with me on this look because you guys have asked me about doing this eye look. I had it on in another video. I think I got it close to what it was in that video, and that will be loading either this week or next week, so stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here on a regular basis, and thank you so much for watching. If you're not following me on social media, I'll put those on the screen and down below. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.